It's mid-August and everyone is trickling back from vacation. School is starting or has already started, and you're climbing behind your inbox, trying to figure out how you're going to go through all of those 100 emails that are in your inbox. And you're thinking, why am I not feeling rested after a week, 2 or 3 weeks of vacation? If this is you, stick around. But before we get into it, let me introduce myself to you. I'm Dr. Giselle. I'm a medical doctor and functional medicine specialist and hormone expert. And I help high functioning women navigate perimenopause through biology, lifestyle, and spirituality. But before we get into the video, I want to just mention that these videos are for educational purposes only. I don't know your story. I don't know your lab results. I don't know your physical body enough to be advising specific medical advice in this video. So do not start, stop, or discontinue any treatment that you are currently having with your healthcare giver. Should you be inspired to start, stop, or change anything in your current treatment, please discuss this extensively with your own healthcare giver. With that being said, let's get into this video. Today, I want to talk about perimenopause and work. So what I see for these past weeks is a lot of women coming back from vacation and feeling kind of disillusioned that the vacation didn't help. Why? Because it used to help. It used to be that you could take a weekend off or a week off and you're back at it. You can handle it again. But with perimenopause, that recovery becomes less and less effective. Why? Because rest stops to be the medicine for your symptoms. Don't get me wrong. Being able to rest, to clear your schedule, to wake up with nature and wind down with nature, and not having anything on your to-do list is very important. But with perimenopause, the problem is so much deeper than that. Let's get into perimenopause and work. In March of this year, the Dutch Association of Occupational Health came with a guideline about perimenopause and work. And there was some stats in there that was interesting and also triggering. Triggering because I recognized myself in them. One of those stats stated that more than two-thirds of women that are experiencing perimenopause symptoms do not discuss these symptoms at work. Why? Because they do not feel safe at work. And that was triggering to me because I recognized myself in that. Not that there was a sign at my clinic or at my job that suggested that conversations about perimenopause were not welcome or unsafe. So when I thought about it, I was like, what made it feel so unsafe to talk about it? And I still haven't come to the conclusion of it, but I think it has to do with the overall culture of the woman going through transition from reproductive through perimenopause and menopause. There is this idea of decline, something going bad, something going wrong, something to be ashamed. And I think every woman will not be able to answer how, but it does feel a little bit threatening to talk about these at work. Just as when I was a teenager, I wouldn't talk about my periods at school. It would be something you would hide at all costs, right? Is something to be ashamed of, which is interesting because it is our biology. Being able to reproduce and everything that comes with that, to have your cycle, to go through perimenopause and menopause, all of that is to support me being a human being that can give life. So, why is there all of this shame, stigma, and taboo surrounding my humanity? I haven't come to the conclusion yet. But what I do know is that Whenever we find ourselves in a space that we cannot be open and vulnerable about our own humanity, that adds stress. And we know that stress has a negative effect on perimenopause symptoms. So, my idea would be to not try to solve why there is a taboo or stigma at work for perimenopause, but to create spaces that is inviting for women, maybe circles at work for women to discuss openly about what they are experiencing during perimenopause. So that's the idea. Why is it important for us to talk about perimenopause and work? Because perimenopause is much more than having hot flashes. Perimenopause affects your biology on different level. Mentally, perimenopause affects your cognitive capabilities, brain fog, being less able to concentrate for longer period of hours, being a little bit more forgetful. That all impacts your job, especially if you have a high functioning job that is stressful. Perimenopause affects your mood. You feel a little bit more anxious. There are more mood swings and even depression with women in perimenopause. And that affects your job, especially if you're working with people. Perimenopause affects your energy level. You are prone to have energy switches that are unpredictable, especially if your lifestyle at work does not permit you to have very stable glucose levels. So, perimenopause affects your brain function, your mood, your energy level. It affects your sleep. So, if you are not sleeping because your progesterone is declining, not having enough sleep is already a reason for mood swings and for lack of concentration. And if you add onto that declining estrogen, now your brain is really not functioning like a decade ago. I think right now that everybody is trickling back to work, it's good to make an assessment. Did the vacation give you the rest and the relaxation that you needed? If not, maybe it's time to start talking about it. Could it be burnout? It could be. A lot of women think that they are in burnout, and burnout is a part of perimenopause. If you are recognizing yourself in these symptoms, who do you talk to? It's very important to find a safe space to talk to someone. It can be a coworker that you feel safe. It can be a occupational doctor, and it can be your general practitioner or gynecologist. It's very important that it is someone that you feel safe with. Should you want to have that conversation with me, in the description of this video, there is a link that you can reach out, book a call, and we can continue that conversation. If you recognize yourself in this video and you like to see more of these, please like this video or subscribe. If you're thinking, this video could be great for a friend, please share with them. You never know how you might transform their life. For now, I want to say, hey, welcome back to the workspace. Uh, if you're navigating perimenopause, you're not alone. I'm here for you, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.